Before you go.
Don't disrespect
No.
me.
Designation card. His designation card. No.
In this episode, Audit Ed stands outside a police station, calmly going about his day, while recording in a public space when officers notice the camera and quickly shift into control mode without any clear reason. There is no report of crime and no complaint from the public, yet the officers react strongly simply because they are uncomfortable being filmed in that moment. Almost instantly, they begin demanding his details and mention vague powers, while failing to clearly explain what law they are relying on to justify their actions. What stands out is a level of confidence in their tone, as if authority alone is enough to replace actual legal grounding and clear communication. They talk over him, ignore basic conduct, and expect him to comply based only on their presence rather than any lawful explanation. As Ed calmly challenges them and asks for the exact power, they believe their using the situation begins to shift and expose gaps in their approach. The more he presses for clarity, the more uncertain the exchange becomes, and the control they try to establish starts to fall apart in real time.
Oh, what is it?
Any particular reason for filming a police station?
Excuse me, is that the way you approach a member of the public around here?
Yeah, normally.
All right, well, I'm not going to be speaking to you then.
I'm
Well, what's going on here?
just asking why you're filming.
Because I can. What's your name and number?
First of all,
No, I'm not going to speak to you then. Do you want to identify yourself?
I don't have to identify myself.
Do you want to identify yourself?
You're filming a police station.
Yeah, you identify yourself there. 2541 Jenkins, yeah? Okay, so the reason I'm filming the police station today is because I can.
Okay.
Yeah.
We were just coming out to see if you needed any assistance.
Not at all. I'm outside the police station. If I needed assistance, I would have gone in.
Okay, no problem. That's fine.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
We're just coming out to make sure you're okay.
That's fine. I'm
All
fine.
right.
You're
Okay.
dismissed now.
You don't dismiss me.
I actually do. You're a
no.
public servant.
The encounter begins with officers spreading out around him instead of having one clear, calm conversation, which creates pressure before any legal basis is explained. This kind of positioning can make a person feel boxed, and even though no clear reason has been given at that point, they quickly question why he is filming. Yet Ed turns the focus back and asks them to identify themselves in a direct and composed way. Most of them refuse to provide their details, and only one officer responds, while another claims he does not have to, which is not accurate under their own standards. Their code of ethics makes it clear that officers are expected to be open and accountable and must provide identification when it is reasonably requested, which is a basic part of professional conduct. Instead of following that simple requirement, they rely on a weak explanation that they only approach the check if he needed help, which does not match what is happening. If that reason was real, it would have been a single polite question rather than a coordinated approach that feels more like control than assistance. As the moment continues, the gap between what they say and what they do becomes more obvious, and the situation starts to raise serious questions about their conduct.
I think we need
Excuse me?
to take some details off you. What's your name?
What crime do you suspect me of committing?
Well, at the moment you're filming a police station.
What crime do you
okay?
suspect me of committing?
No, listen.
I am listening. What crime?
You're filming a police station.
What crime do you
okay?
suspect me of committing?
And at the moment, for security purposes...
What crime do you suspect me of committing?
Hold on a
What
second.
crime do you suspect me of
Well,
committing?
at the moment, you're filming a police station.
And what crime is
okay?
that?
I don't know what your reasons are for
Sir, we go on
filming
what we
inside-
do know, not what we don't. So what crime do you suspect me of committing? Could you please articulate legislation? If you're not going to articulate legislation, this conversation is over.
Okay, that's fine. If you don't want to talk to us,
Yeah.
that's
So I told you,
But
you are
there's
dismissed.
There's obviously you don't need to say that, do you?
Well, I'm
Right.
saying it.
The reason that I'm speaking to you is because you're filming the.
I don't
inside
care.
of
You
the
haven't
police
identified yourself, so
Yeah,
I'm not
I'm
going to speak to you.
PC 2808.
So now you want to identify
Okay.
yourself. Your policy says you have to at the beginning. All right.
Right.
Now I'll
You're
see your
also-
warrant card
you're
also.
You're also.
Show me your warrant
No,
card.
Hold on a second.
End of conversation.
The situation then escalates as officers demand his personal details without pointing to any specific legal section or clear offense, which leaves their position unclear and unsupported. They lean on vague claims about security concerns because he is filming a police station, yet they never explain how collecting his name would address that concern in any real way. The logic does not hold because a camera does not stop working based on identity, and the connection between filming and personal details remains unexplained. Ed calmly highlights that proper policing must be based on clear facts that can be explained rather than guesses about what might be happening, and this point lands with weight. Suspicion must come from real observable reasons, and not from assumptions that cannot be backed up with detail. One officer eventually provides a name after being pressed, yet refuses to show any form of identification to confirm it, which weakens their own position. This creates a clear imbalance where they demand openness from him, while refusing to provide the same level of accountability themselves. As the exchange continues, this contradiction becomes more visible and raises serious concerns about fairness and proper conduct in the moment.
Not at all. Listen, you are not even a police constable. I suggest you hush your gums.
You need to wind your neck in.
Oh, I need to wind my neck in? Okay, so having my neck wound out is a crime, is it?
Yes, it is.
Is it? What crime?
You're being arrogant and
I'm not being
my colleague
arrogant.
disrespected
Listen,
you.
and you're not being disrespectful to me right now by running your mouth at me.
How do I know?
Who do you think you are?
How do I know what you're doing? I don't understand what you're doing.
Listen, do you need to know?
At this moment in time, you're suspected for a terrorism offence.
Oh, Section 43?
Because
Section 43?
you're filming inside.
Is that Section 43?
You're filming inside the police
Is that
station.
Section 43?
You're filming inside.
Is that Section 43?
interrupting.
I'm asking you,
You're
Constable.
filming
I'm asking you,
inside the
Constable.
police
I'm not going to
station.
speak to you anymore. Is it Section
Why
43?
are you filming
Is it
a police station?
Is it
for?
because I can?
Well, at the moment, like I say, you can't.
Could you, if you want to articulate legal legislation that says I can't, then I will. Let's wind it in. Let's wind it in. I'm going to ask you a specific question. What you just said there in regards to the terrorism, yeah, are you talking about Section 43?
I'm talking about somebody.
No. Sections. Legislation, please. Let's talk legislation.
I don't need to talk legislation.
Do you know it?
If you're not going to talk.
The moment takes a sharper turn when an officer tells him to wind his neck in and treats it like a criminal act when challenged, which shows a clear misunderstanding of what the law actually requires. There is no offense that exists just because someone speaks firmly, and public order rules only apply when there is threatening or abusive behavior that is likely to cause real harm or distress. Simply questioning an officer or standing your ground does not meet that level, and framing it as criminal only highlights a low tolerance for being challenged rather than any real breach of law. The situation then shifts to a familiar tactic, where the word terrorism is brought up without any clear section or defined suspicion, which adds pressure without adding clarity. It is used as a label instead of a legal explanation, as if saying it removes the need to justify the action being taken. When one officer claims he does not need to explain the law, it exposes a deeper issue, because any power that comes from legislation must be clearly stated and understood. Without that clarity, the authority they are trying to rely on begins to lose its foundation, and the encounter starts to show serious gaps in both knowledge and approach.
I'm at liberty to give you that.
Listen,
You just asked me a question.
For the camera, this gentleman is pointing a camera into a police station.
Yeah.
Okay.
So?
There's obviously cause for concern.
What cause for concern?
Well, because of the security.
Articulate
of the
crime.
police
No,
station.
listen. Articulate a crime to me. What? From who? From who?
From all kinds of
From who?
things. Any
What are you talking about? Be specific.
behaviour.
I'm being specific with
Anything
you.
that looks out of place. That's
What's
how we
what's
work.
out of place?
A person that.
All right, so I'll tell you what I'm doing. I'll tell you what I'm doing. I'll tell you what I'm doing.
Compound.
I'll tell you what I'm doing. I'm making a story. I'm an investigative journalist, and I'm gathering content for a story. Okay, there's my reason.
And that's what we're trying to find out.
Yeah, we just told you. I didn't have to tell you,
Yeah.
but I did.
So that's what I'm asking.
No.
I'm not threatening you or
Yeah,
anything.
but
like that, the way
but
you're
listen,
talking
no,
is that we were threatening you.
because you're doing exactly what thousands of police officers do in this country. Okay, you come up to somebody expecting them not to know the law, and you start
Ed keeps returning to the simplest point by asking what crime has been committed, and the officers avoid answering by repeating the same vague security line, as if repetition can create legitimacy. That pattern gives the game away, because if a clear offense existed, it would have been stated directly from the start. Instead, the exchange stretches on with no solid explanation, and no legal footing offered to support their demands. Ed then chooses to explain why he is there not because he is required to do so, but because he wants to break the deadlock and move things forward. That decision shines a light on the situation because it shows cooperation from his side, while clarity from theirs is still missing. The more they refuse to name a specific offense, the more obvious it becomes that the encounter was never grounded in a real crime. In the end, it reveals a push for control without a proper legal basis and highlights how authority can be asserted even when the foundation behind it is weak.
like that
I
around
didn't
it then.
assume that you didn't know
Yes, you
the
did.
law.
You came out.
No, you're assuming that
Man,
I'm
you.
thinking that you're
What
an
is your
idiot, and I'm
issue?
not saying
But then
that.
why won't you let me finish speaking?
Because you're not allowed to speak.
You weren't.
But I don't have to let you
We
speak.
were
We don't
asking.
have to let you speak.
But then go away, go back in and do some actual police work.
As a journalist, surely you should know by asking a
just
question,
listen.
you should get an answer.
Do you suspect me of a crime?
Well, at the moment,
Can you answer yes or
I'm
no?
a bit concerned as to why you're pointing a camera.
Is
into a police
concern a
station.
crime, sir?
Well,
Do you suspect me of a? Do you suspect me of a crime?
like I say, I'm trying to find out from you why
Do
you're pointing a camera.
do
in a
you
police
suspect
station.
me of a crime?
Well, at the moment, it's a bit suspicious that you're pointing a camera.
Is
into a police
suspicion
station.
is suspicion a crime?
No, it's an inquiry.
Okay,
that
no,
will carry
okay, no,
out.
no, 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 no. I don't need the cops explaining bit. Let's talk facts. Is suspicion a crime?
Well, no, not.
No,
at the
okay,
moment.
stop then.
we don't
Okay,
deal
stop
with
then.
just
Okay,
crimes
just yes, you
all
do.
day
But do
long.
you
No,
suspect?
it's
Do you
a
suspect?
myriad of
Do you
different things.
suspect I'm about to commit a crime?
You can.
I don't know.
You can.
Do you?
can
But if you don't know,
Ed then locks the discussion onto one clear point by asking if they suspect him of committing a crime, and the answer shifts to a softer claim about concerns, which changes everything. A concern is not a legal standard, and it does not grant authority to demand personal details or take control of the situation. It holds no power on its own and cannot justify actions that require a proper legal basis. When he asks directly if holding a camera is a crime, they admit that it is not what should have ended the encounter at that moment. Instead, they continue trying to stretch the idea of suspicion into something actionable, as if discomfort can somehow become authority through repetition. What unfolds is not about evidence, but about maintaining control even when there is nothing solid to support it. Walking away would mean acknowledging there was no real issue. So they keep the conversation going in the hope that persistence will fill the gap. Each added explanation only makes the situation clearer and reinforces the same outcome, that without an actual offense there is no lawful power to act.
it's policing by consent, isn't it? Is it not policing by consent? Okay, so when I'm asking you questions to try to understand why you're accosting me and you refuse to answer the
I'm
question,
not
you are,
accosting
you are, because
What
I'm
was
just a
accosting
normal
you?
member of the public. Yes.
You're just trying to get.
No, I'm
You
not.
are, you're
I'm not.
No, just let me speak.
I don't care what you have to say.
Okay,
How about
that's
that?
fine.
Jog on.
That's-
Off your trot.
Don't-
There's snout going on
just
around
being
here.
rude now.
Is rudeness a crime?
Yourself look silly
No,
because
but
you're
Is rudeness a
trying-
crime?
You're being rude to
Public
us.
order
We
is.
don't have
Huh?
to engage
Public
with you. if you
order
just
is.
walk
Yeah,
away.
public order. But is that, am I using excessive words or
not
behaviour?
this
So then
point. No,
don't listen. You don't even know what. Before you go,
Alright.
before you go.
Don't disrespect
No,
me.
no, no, no. Designation card. I want to see his designation
No,
card.
that is enough.
I want to see his designation
Wind your
card.
neck in and get off.
No, 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 no. You wind your neck in, off your trot, little piggies.
Good.
Peppa Pig. Peppa Pig.